This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning for July 12, 2023, killer in Lou Garwood murder case reportedly paid $170,000. The first witness at the trial of Javon Garwood for his stepmother's murder in a Trelawney church has told the court that the man who pulled the trigger, Dwight Bingham, told him he was paid $170,000 to do a job. The witness, Leon Hines, was the getaway driver in the murder and is serving a 6-year sentence after pleading guilty for his part in the crime. Bingham has also pleaded guilty and is awaiting sentencing for murder. Hines told the Trelawney Circuit Court yesterday afternoon the series of activities leading up to the murder of Lou Garwood in the Agape Christian Fellowship Church on January 31, 2021. Hines said on January 26 he got a WhatsApp message from Bingham saying that he got $170,000 to do a job. I thought that it was to do some construction work because I knew that he was into construction work, he told the court. I rented a car on the 29th of January 2021. I was approached by Prince Bingham to transport him to Falmouth on Sunday. At that time, I did not know for what reason, he further told the court. He said when he arrived at the church, he parked in a lane beside the building. I saw Prince exit the car with a black pouch and a gun in his waist. Shortly after, I heard 5 explosions and the Prince walked out of the church and instructed me to Burn Road. Shortly after, he realized his phone was missing. He did not take up my offer to go back and to look for the phone, Hines related. On the journey back to Rose Heights in Montego Bay, Bingham reportedly tried to make several calls using Hines' phone. At one point, he said there was Janoy not answering his phone. When asked to look around the courtroom to see if he could recognize Janoy, he pointed out Javon Garwood, who was sitting in the dock. The trial will resume today. Brothers charged for stabbing of Cumberland schoolboy remanded. 2 brothers who are charged with the physical attack on a Cumberland High School student last month were remanded when they appeared in the St. Catherine Parish Court on Tuesday. The 19 and 14-year-old siblings were ordered remanded until July 24. They are both charged with wounding with intent. They had surrendered to the police a day after the June 15 attack. The 11th grade student was attacked by a group of men who chopped and stabbed him several times. The student reportedly intervened in a dispute between 2 schoolmates and was later set upon by men from a neighboring community who were called to the scene by one of the students involved in the dispute. Police nabbed 3 of 4 men who escaped Ocheria's lockup last August. 3 of 4 inmates who escaped from the Ocheria's police lockup in St. Anne in August last year have been recaptured. They are Jermaine Rogers, Terence Harrelal, and Javar Grant. The 4th escapee, Dennis Colburn, remains at large. Head of the St. Anne Police Senior Superintendent Dwight Powell says Colburn, who is of an Islington St. Mary address, was charged with rape. We are using this opportunity to appeal to Mr. Colburn to turn yourself over to the police. Any police station across the country will suffice. Just to let you know that we are continuing our relentless effort to apprehend you, SSP Powell warned. He is urging Colburn to turn himself in by Friday, July 14. Jamaica experiencing uptick in COVID-19 cases. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has admitted that the island is experiencing an uptick in COVID-19 cases. Speaking in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, Dr. Tufton responded to concerns raised by the parliamentary opposition about a surge in new cases in St. Thomas and other parts of the country.
Madam Speaker, the island is currently seeing an increase in positivity rate for COVID-19. This means that for the number of tests done, the proportion of positives is actually increasing. Overall, Madam Speaker, colleagues, the actual numbers are not showing a consistent increase and generally speaking remains relatively low. Over the past 4 weeks, there have been an average of 87 confirmed cases. The number of cases are are not increasing. The average 7-day positivity rate is about 22%. I know there's 17 on the statement, but it's actually about 22%. Now, this is clearly higher than what we would like to see. Ideally, of course, none, but on average about 5 or so percent. Of note, the circulating variant is a highly transmissible Omicron variant. Madam Speaker, the last batches of genomic sequencing done on samples collected in March and April showed that its subvariants XBB.1.5 and BQ.1.1 were most prevalent. So there's a scientific explanation for what these are, but it falls under the Omicron variant strain. In Jamaica, Madam Speaker, hospitals are experiencing an increase in admissions, with the Southern Regional Health and Western Regional at 149 and 94% of capacity respectively. Of course, being over 100% just means that we have to make space in the aisle and in the hallways for additional persons. Sarah and NERA, which is the Southeast Regional Health and Northeast Regional Health Authorities, 68 and 63% overall. But in Sarah, the Spanish Town Hospital and the KPH are between 95 and 100% of capacity, and similarly so the University Hospital of the West Indies, 100%.
The Ministry of Health issued an advisory last week notifying the public to expect longer than normal wait times at hospitals across the island as a result of an increasing number of patients requiring care at accident and emergency departments. House Speaker unmoved by calls to table Auditor General's reports. As strident Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert again defended her position to delay tabling of 3 Auditor General's report in the House of Representatives. The House Speaker restated that she was awaiting the advice of the Attorney General as her interpretation of the law governing the tabling of the reports ran counter to what has been the practice and the position of the Auditor General. Mrs. Dalrymple-Philibert drew questions from the opposition after she tabled reports from the Integrity Commission, but not those from the Auditor General. She said she was not yet in receipt of guidance from the Attorney General on the tabling of the 3 reports.
Whenever there is any doubt in my mind, the correct thing for me to do is to seek the Attorney General's guidance, and to this date and this moment, I have not received the guidance. And so, 6 reports are already in the public space, and the other reports relate to the Customs Agency and to this other private company. And I have been assured that the Attorney General's Chambers is moving as speedily as it can to give us their guidance. And so I will await their guidance, which I expect we will have soon. And that is the only thing I can say.
While you await the guidance, as you have done here, the reports should really to be tabled, which is a practice that we've become accustomed to. And that, Madam Speaker, perhaps you might want to reflect on that and indeed have those reports tabled.
I note what you have said, and I hold strongly to the view that the law must take precedence over practice, and I await the guidance of the Attorney General. And that is it.
On the issue of the Auditor General's report, while I hear you waiting on the opinion, I believe having read Section 30 of the FAA Act, that is straightforward in terms of the provision. The provision relates to public bodies, and the 2 entities which you refer to are executive agencies, which are governed by an Executive Agency Act. It also refers to the Auditor General doing an audit of annual accounts, whereas in this case, they were performance audits. So even without the opinion of the Attorney General, it is clear to me that the provision which you relied on is not relevant to the reports which were done.
The member rose in his capacity as a member, and he has informed us that the Auditor General report that you have in your possession is a performance audit, and it is not tabled. So he needs to inform this House how we got that information. Madam Speaker, let him stand up. Stand up and talk, you coward.
Do you want to inform the House how you wrote your 6-page response when the report was
Madam
just
Speaker,
tabled?
I can tell you,
the House.
God bless. Please, Madam Speaker.
Tell us, did you have sight?
Madam
Since you
Speaker.
want to go there, did you have sight of the report?
Please.
Before? Did you have sight of the report
Please.
before? Sit down. Sit down.
No. Madam Speaker.
Don't like you. Don't like you.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.